Morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We're still on chapter 27, verse 1. We were talking about the fact that it's an interesting thing. Moshe speaks to the Jewish people in this pasuk with the elders. It's a little bit interesting. Where do the elders even fit into this? So the Ramban basically explains that they will urge the members of the tribes to heed the words of Moshe Rabbeinu. That's basically what the Ramban explained. Let's go to the Sforno. I think someone might have even mentioned this yesterday. The Sforno says, "Vaitzav Sforno pasuk Aleph, Vaitzav Moshe v'ziknei Yisrael, Shitef imo haskenim b'bnei shehem yiyu b'mamad ba'avram hayarden." The reason he includes the elders with him is these psukim are all about what they should do when they cross the Jordan. The whole thing with the stones, writing the Torah on the stones. Moshe's not going to be there. The elders will be there. So he stands there together with the elders to Mom said that. I thought, yeah, very good. Okay, thank you. Okay, and now let's see the Orach Chaim. Orach Chaim on Pasuk Aleph, he has a very different approach. Tam Zichron Ziknei Yisrael Khan. The reason the elders of Israel are mentioned here, Niskavin Moshe Bozeh Masha Amruzal. Moshe is intending that which the rabbis teach. Shebemakom sheishchil Hashem ein cholkin kavod l'rav. Tichsiv ein chachma l'neged Hashem. We normally are pretty sensitive in our faith, in our culture, that if someone is the religious authority figure, we don't want to make decisions in their presence without consulting them. We don't want to jump the line. We don't want to step on anyone's toes. We're very diligent about that. But in the situation where God's name is being desecrated, and the greatest desecration of God's name is when people are doing the wrong thing, then we say, Ein cholkin kavod l'rav at that moment. In other words, if something terrible is going on, and it clearly needs to be responded to, and whoever is the authority figure is kind of dithering and this and that, Ein cholkin kavod l'rav. We're not looking at that point to figure out what the proper protocol is. We just do something about it. So the Orach Chaim says that's being alluded to here. Vu omro vayitzav Moshe ulefanav shu rabban shel Yisrael asa shagam hazkenim yitzavu v'yazhiru al adavar lemor shamor. What's the first word out of Moshe and the elders' mouths? Shamor es kol mitzvah. Shamor means to observe, but the connotation of shamor is don't do the wrong things. Diktek lomer shamor lahoyer. Ki b'davar zeh shimitz losase hu sha'amru ein cholkin kavod l'rav kayadua. So Moshe wants to stand there with the elders and as a group, even though it's a little bit out of whack that Moshe is conveying this with the elders. It normally would be Moshe conveying on his own. The point is, when it comes to Shamor es kol mitzvah, making sure that people don't do the wrong thing, we shouldn't worry as much about the normal hierarchy. So that's conveyed by Moshe not standing alone, but Moshe standing with the elders. It's an interesting idea to think about. Okay, so Moshe tells them, and with the elders standing there, tells them, okay, you're going to cross the Jordan, you're going to have these large stones, and you're going to cover the stones in lime. And now it says in verse 3, and you will write on the stones, all the words of this Torah when you cross the Jordan, so that you will come to the land that Hashem your God gives to you, Eretz avas chalav u'dvash, the land flowing with milk and honey, kasher diber Hashem Elokei avosecha lach, as Hashem, the God of your fathers, said to you. Now, this is an interesting thing. So do the thing with the stones so that you'll come into the land. What does that mean exactly? Does that mean that if you don't do the thing with the stones, you won't come into the land? It's a little bit tricky when you think about it. What exactly is being said over here? So let's look at the Ramban. It's the second Ramban in Pasuk Gimel. It begins with the words L'man asher tavo el oretz, so that you will come into the land. Amar Reb Avram. So first of all, he starts off by quoting the Ibn Ezra. Ki Hashem yisparach ya'azorcha imachilosa l'shmor mitzvosav. Ki zosi ha'mitzvah rishona b'viyasam la'aretz. The Ibn Ezra says as follows: says, look, Do you want to successfully enter the land of Israel? Do you want to successfully conquer the land of Israel? You know whose help you need? You need God's help. You know how you merit God's help if you do everything you're supposed to do. You know what it means to do everything you're supposed to do if you keep the mitzvahs. And you know what? When you cross the Jordan, right away, there's already a mitzvah for you when you cross the Jordan. And that's this mitzvah with the stones. If you want to remotely think you're ever going to make it into the land of Israel, guess what? You need to keep the instructions of God. And the best way to start that momentum is to do the first instruction first. So you want to go into the land of Israel? Step number 1. You're going to cross the Jordan, do this mitzvah ASAP. That's how the Ibn Ezra explains it. Ulefidati, the Ramban says, I think the pshat is, Leman asher tavo remez l'chol divrei Torah. Remember, they're going to write the words of the Torah on these stones. So the Ramban says, I don't think the statement of so that you go into the land of Israel, I don't think it's about the stones. I think it's about what they're writing on the stones. That you need to inculcate yourselves with all of the words of this Torah that you're going to write on the stones so that you'll merit to go into the land of Israel. Yomar, shech tichtov al avonim kol divrei Torah zos ba'avrucha b'yardin miyad. You should write all the words of the Torah on these stones immediately when you cross the Jordan. Since you've come into the land, because the reason you're coming into the land of Israel is because of your observance of the Torah. Okay. O Tamo, skipping a line or two, another possibility. Tichtov aleihen es kol divrei Torah zos lios l'zikaron. Maybe it means, so the first pshat the Ramban was saying was really more, the reason you're coming into the land of Israel is your acceptance of this Torah, so you might as well write it down. The second pshat the Ramban is saying is, if you write down the words of the Torah, that will act as a reminder for you, that you'll be able to come into the land, and you'll conquer the land, and you'll drive out all the nations, Torah, and you're remembering the Torah, and observing all of its mitzvahs. So whether it be this is a statement about keeping this first mitzvah will be a merit that you'll successfully take the land of Israel, whether it's a statement that just the general, you have to understand how central the Torah is to your merit of being in the land of Israel. Okay, there's a really interesting Orach Chaim on this pasuk. The Orach Chaim on pasuk Gimel. It's about 10 lines into the Orach Chaim on pasuk Gimel. Achein kavanas hakasuv. The intent of this verse is Fishakada Mamar Moshe Yisrael, because Moshe told the Jewish people a while ago, Kibias Haaretz Lo B'Schus Yisrael. Moshe made it very clear to them earlier in Sefer Dvarim that they're going into the land of Israel is not because you're so great. Ka'amro, like he says, Lo B'Tzid Kascha. God isn't bringing you into the land of Israel because of your righteousness. Ella B'Rishas HaGoyim. Rather, God is bringing you into the land of Israel because the nations currently living in the land don't deserve to be there. Ulaman Hakim, and to fulfill his promise to the patriarchs. So the context right now is the Jewish people are going into the land of Israel because God promised the patriarchs that their descendants would go in. And anyway, the residents of the land don't deserve it anyway. So it's sort of like something in between. You're going in by default and you're going in because God really liked your grandparents. But it doesn't inspire a lot of personal confidence. Lozeh badvarokan. So now Moshe comes and makes this point. In the context of this thing said over here, Tia biyasam la'aretz uvischus atzmam. Moshe Rabbeinu now says to them, you want to change the game? You remember I told you earlier why you're going into the land of Israel? Go into the land of Israel in your own merit. Do this mitzvah when you go in. And when you do this mitzvah when you go in, it will change the score of everything. And now God is giving the land to you. V'zeshir akasav, that's what it's saying in the pasuk says Orach Chaim. L'mana sher tavo, so that you can come into the land of Israel. Perish. Let it be that your entry into the land is asher Hashem lokecha nosein l'cha kasher nishba, like he said to go and enter the land which God swore to your patriarchs to give to you. And what it means to you, Perish L'mashat Ra'oi. Let it be that you're getting the land not because you deserve it. You shouldn't need the covenant of the patriarchs anymore. I think it's a very, very nice thing to think about. We all can probably relate to situations in which we kind of got into the door because we were related to somebody or we knew somebody. And then once we get in the door, now we have the opportunity to sort of earn it on our own. And that's sort of what the Orach Chaim says Moshe Rabbeinu was telling them. I think it's a very powerful pshat to reflect on. Okay, moving on to verse 11. Vayitzav Moshe es ha'am bayom hahu lemor. Moshe commanded the nation on that day, saying, verse 12, Eila yamdu levareches ha'am al har grizim ba'avrachem es ha'yarden, Shimon v'Levi v'Yehuda v'Yisachar v'Yosef v'Binyamin. Moshe now begins to describe the famous scene of Har Grizim and Har Evel, which we've had allusions to earlier in this sefer, but here it is. Now they're not happening. They're not doing this now. This is going to be, when they cross into the land of Israel. But this is what Moshe is telling them about. And this scene of these two mountains facing each other, and half the people standing on one mountain and half the people standing on the other mountain. So these are the people who will stand to bless the nation. Lists tribes. And now verse 13, then lists another group of 6 tribes that will stand on the curse. And now verse 14, and the Levium will say to all of the Jewish people loudly, and there's this famous idea that they'll turn to one mountain and say X, and turn to one mountain and say Y, and then the next mountain and say X, and the next mountain and say Y. What will they say? Verse 15, cursed be the man who makes some type of molten image and places it somewhere privately, and everyone says Amen, and then another curse, and then another curse, and another curse, and another curse, and then that's the end of the section. Now, this seems like it's missing something, because Moshe Rabbeinu said, this will be for the bracha, and this will be for the curse. But he only talks about the curse. So the way we're to understand the psukim is for each curse, there's a flip. So the curse will be what they say, what they turn towards one mountain and say, and then the flip of that is that if you don't do that thing, you'll be blessed. Okay. On this set of psukim are a few obvious questions. Question number 1. In verse 12, it says, these will stand to bless the nation. And in verse 13, it says, these will stand on the curse. So it's not a parallel language. It should either be on the blessing and on the curse, or to bless and to curse. But there's 2 different languages going on. What's the story with that? Obviously, it's striking why the Torah doesn't explicitly state both the blessing and the curse. And why would you state the curse? Wouldn't it be more like positive to state the blessing? Wouldn't that be like nice? So these are all obvious questions. And stay tuned, because if you come back tomorrow, we'll discuss the Kli Yakar's approach to these psukim. I hope you're all able to sleep tonight. We discussed the Sforno and the Orach Chaim. We had discussed Ramban yesterday regarding why Moshe has the elders standing with him when he speaks to the people at the beginning of this chapter. And we discussed the Ibn Ezra, the Ramban, and the Orach Chaim regarding the intent of the verse when the thing about the stones is, do the thing with the writing on the stones so that you'll go into the land of Israel. Nancy?
Yeah, hi, Rabbi.
Hi.
So I've always been confused, well, not confused, but wondering, if you ask certain tribes to stand on the mountain where the blessings will be, and you say, ask some certain tribes to stand where the curses will be said, I can't imagine there wasn't some resentment or, like, why do I have to stand on the cursed? Why do you like them better? Why do you like me less? Even though it's just, you're, kind of saying you're doing what God says to do, but I'm wondering if there was resentment between the tribes about who got picked for which mountain.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I don't remember a shot as to why these tribes are there and those tribes are there. Maybe there, I would guess there is one. I'm just not aware of one. Um, but um, but I mean, this presumably is God is instructing this. I mean, in other words, they've heard a
Yeah,
love from
I hear
Moshe.
that.
Um, yeah, but why it's broken down that way, I I I don't remember, or I don't know if I ever
All
do.
right.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Somebody from my parents wants to say something. Mom?
Yeah, it's your mother. Anyways, I just want to say you said, like, first of all, they have the cursing, but not only that, it's like not to do negative behavior. I find that's interesting. Like, it's, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about it tomorrow, God willing. But one of the classic approaches to this list is really showing that a person really believes in God. And the
Yeah.
real way to show that a person believes in God is when no one's looking.
Yeah,
Not as much when no one's looking, do they do good things? Honestly, it's really when no one's looking, do they refrain from doing bad
right,
things?
right.
And I mean, if you look at the list, it's really the kind of stuff that's very classic, uh, behind closed doors type of
Yeah,
stuff. And you could be the type of person who's very well regarded and very well respected and all that. And then when the door closes, you become a different person.
yeah,
And there's all kinds of examples of this here.
yeah,
Um, and that seems to be the ultimate indicator of,
yeah,
yeah, but we'll see the Kli Yakar tomorrow, God willing. But that's what I just said now is a very common approach.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mom. Okay. Have a great day, everybody. Be well. Hi, good morning. It's David Rosenbaum. How are you? Good, Baruch Hashem. So I'm so glad I did it right. Got it. Got it. Uh, Completely understood. No, you're right. You're right. People are careful with all this stuff. You never know. You never know if it'll like end up in the Shomer Shabbat shorts or something. You just don't know. No. I totally get it. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Right. And 10 with numbers. Okay. Seder Gamur. Thank you so much. Okay. Bracha, do you have any, I know I'm so old school. Do you have any grade books still? Okay. Fine. Okay, so but it's worth me popping by the office when I come just to see if there's one. Okay, great. Very good. Thank you so much. Okay, have a good day. Don't have the time for it. I can't stand examples. This is something that's, I don't need it. Hello. Speaking. Okay. Uh, yeah, so Paul, I would love to meet you. I have a very packed schedule today. I unfortunately, I'm not going to be available today, and I apologize for that. Paul, where do you live, Paul? Okay. What makes you interested in my synagogue? Okay, but Paul, what does that have to do with becoming a member of my synagogue? Yeah, I'll tell you, just so you know, there are many synagogues in DC. Huh. Are you, if you mind, don't mind me asking, are you guys Jewish? Okay, so listen, Paul, I'm very happy to meet with you. Just trying to think of what would work for my schedule. Hold on 1 second. Just processing this. So it's kind of a busy time of year for me. Um, I think I honestly, people who are not of the Jewish faith, I really like to meet with them first and stuff like that. Paul, this week is probably not gonna work for me. Can I ask you to give me a call back next week and we'll figure something out? Okay, great. Okay, Well, I'm saying if you give me a call, I would say between 10 and 11 in the morning. Um, maybe on Tuesday, then hopefully we could figure something out. Okay, great. Okay, okay, be well, Paul. Thanks for reaching out. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Hello? Hello? Hi, good morning. Sorry to be my treat after at this time. How you doing? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because you know what? I'm gonna write you an email right now as to what I would respond to that. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Koltov. Is
Hi. I don't have any sound. Wait a minute.
Thank you for telling me. Yes, I was on mute.
Ah, okay.
You're taking your father-in-law's place, is that it?
Oh, no. I stay on the sidelines because this is my breakfast time.
Oh,
I don't want to eat online. I mean,
you're very
I never
polite.
will do that. No.
You're very polite. My wife Judy is the same way. She doesn't eat online, but
Oh, yeah.
you could be forgiven.
I could be, perhaps.
Are you getting ready for Yontif? No. Coming upon us very rapidly. The way I know is because they're starting to advertise at Shalom's and Mati's about, the special prices for us.
Yes, I know. No, we are right now doing a bunch of other things, but anyway, yeah. I'm going to start focusing on it soon, clearly.
Okay. Well, I just
But it is Elul, so
yes, it is
that I
Elul.
know.
That's right. Good point. Hello, David.
Okay, so here's my father-in-law.
Okay. Hey, Dave.
Good to see you.
Same here.
We are. Oh, here we are.
Okay.
Thank you, Ruthie.
Welcome.
Hi, Mr. Connick. Hello.
Ah,
David, just for your information, you're muted. I don't know if you want to be muted, but you are muted.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me clearly or no?
Yes. I said Dave, but I meant Mr. Mr. Harnestein, not you.
No. I didn't hear you.
Now you're sort of breaking up a little bit.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I think so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Troy, can you hear me now?
Yeah. I got you.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it was just so interesting. So I stepped out for a moment. I didn't even realize I had accidentally left my Zoom on from earlier in the morning. And I stepped out and I came into the office and I hear these voices coming from my office. And I was trying to figure out who was
Who was
patching
there?
around.
Yeah.
And it was all of you.
Now, you know that this is being recorded. Do you normally record this year?
Oh, that's also interesting.
It came on. It came on.
I must have forgotten to stop recording.